What is up, everybody? Delusional Rubies here. Today we're going to be reviewing the map Prokhorovka, as you can see here, specifically when it comes to how you should play this map in your heavy tanks. Obviously, I've actually noticed that a lot of people I mentor have had trouble with this map, most significantly in their heavy tanks, and also some light tank gameplay has been a bit troublesome for this map. And especially when there's 3 artillery on the enemy team and your team as well. So I thought I'd just make a video to go over it and kind of show an example of a replay, which will be later in the video. But before we get into that, I just want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button below. We are actually currently on the road for 25 subscribers, which I know isn't that much, but it would mean a lot to me, and obviously it's free, so I mean, why not? And yeah, I just want to mention quickly that you can find a link to the tutoring/coaching services I provide if you're looking for a more personal hands-on approach to learning and improving your WAT skills. You can definitely find that in the description below. Anyways, back to the video. So everybody who has played this map knows how annoying it can be to play a heavy tank on this map. Pretty much a lot of people find this map very campy, and it really comes down to the light tanks on your team and how they play. I'll probably end up making another video about that. So we're just going to talk about where you would normally play in a heavy tank on this map. So a lot of people, they don't really know where to go. I do see a lot of people end up going here into the middle of the map, especially when there's only 1 or 2 arty. That is definitely a viable play, even with 3 arty if you do it right. A lot of people actually, unfortunately, though, end up going very, very close to the railroads right here. And the reason I would never suggest doing this is because the second you peek up, not only are you exposing yourself to the people on the hill, but you're also exposing to the enemies who are obviously going to be sitting in the same position on the opposite side of the map. So you're kind of putting yourself into a crossfire by going there. Sometimes I've seen people go into this position over here in the H0 position, kind of sit there all game, not really be useful, not really do much for the progress of the map. And I've also sometimes seen them push in further and go onto the hill. In my opinion, never go hill. Prokhorovka, it's important to have the 0 line in this side of the map, but the second you commit yourself on the hill, you're stuck. And if there is RT, you will most likely die to said RT, or get impatient, get shot from mid, and just die ultimately. I've also seen people play here in the F4 position. This dip isn't really as good, and this position right here is the ideal spot. Coming here at the start of the game is perfect. You can not only peek high at the start of the game because the tank destroyers on the enemy team aren't going to be set up yet. A lot of the time I peek high or an EBR lights something around here, I get a free few shots into that, or I go ahead and go up and spot someone crossing here, and I get a free shot into that, and then I'm able to back down and not take any damage in return. And this spot is really good because it can do three different things. You can put pressure on anybody in this area if they get lit. You're also able to blind fire arty and people on the ridge back here if they end up getting lit. And the most important part is you can shoot people on the hill in the side. Now, seeing as a lot of people love playing hill on this map, you can get so many free shots. You can do this in most heavy tanks. Obviously, there's certain few heavy tanks that don't really have the accuracy to make this work as well as others. For example, in the S-Conk or a Chieftain, something along those lines would be well suited for this position, more specifically the S-Conk. And being able to sit here, you can not only shoot these people on the hill without getting spotted, a light tank, which usually runs the middle of the map, won't be able to spot you if you back down every time they do a spotting run. It's quite simple, yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, the strongest position. Obviously, if you lose this side of the map completely, you can't stay here, otherwise you'll just die. So what I would either suggest is going across the dip into this position right here and holding this pole, since 90% of the time you have tank destroyers covering you, or you end up going back all the way, so you go into this dip and then you hug this ridge and then get up into the bushes right there so you don't get lit, and then you come all the way back into this corner And at that point, the game's pretty much over, and you're just trying to get as much use out of your tank as you can. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's quite the same for the other side. But yeah, here's a video, and I'll show you how you do that. Okay, and we're back with the video. So here you see me in my chieftain here, playing with my actual 2 platoon mates here, Flame Tux and Al Scarface Capone. Obviously we're on the map Prokhorovka. It's a one RD game, which is quite uncommon nowadays. But as you see, my teammate over here on the 2 line in his mana core, he's doing just fine over there. He ends up getting lit at the beginning of the map, but he does end up spawning that IS-4. As I mentioned earlier, you peek high and you're able to get shots. I also actually just spotted that E4 as well, or maybe that was a 50B. But you see, I would have been able to shoot anybody who got lit making that crossing. As you can see here, I'm kind of playing this ridge. Just kind of trying to figure out where I need to be looking. I'm not sure if someone might end up getting lit. A lot of the time there's a light tank in one of those bushes. So as you can see, I'm blind firing that position because my teammate did get lit in his light tank by the enemy light tank. So I'm trying to help him out here, see if I can maybe get some free damage on a light tank there. And as you can see on the map, this E5 does get lit, and as I mentioned previously, this is something you can do from this position. You can kind of put shots into people doing things like that. As you can see, he's trying to get over to the 1-2 line. He's not really sure what he's doing, and he actually goes up into this spot, and I pop up, end up getting a shot, I believe, into him. I'm not sure if this one goes through. It does, and yeah, I'm already at 870 damage. I get lit, I back off. I'm not able to get shot at hill. I'm too far below by the time they have a chance to look this way, and this is the kind of position you want to be playing in your heavy tanks. As you can see on the map here, pretty classic gameplay. As you can see, there's a lot of heavy tanks in this match, and look, there's all the enemy heavy tanks. If you see my heavies on my team right here, you see the 50B, the 60 TP, the 260 TPs actually. They're doing what I told you not to do, and they're losing a lot of HP, and for no reason really. There's really no point to sit there. And you can also see on the 1-2 line we have 2 mouses kind of just driving down that line. I can't tell you it's not fun to do that, but definitely not the way he ends up actually dying within the first few minutes. So not the best idea there. But yeah, ultimately this game kind of progresses to the point where this is also another position you can use in your medium tanks here, or in your heavy tanks here. Usually medium tanks sit up there in this bush right there. And if you fast forward, I do get a lot of free shots into them, and I'm not getting lit for doing this. Obviously, it's definitely a really strong position, as you can see here. Kind of just farming, and the light tank ends up getting lit. I do get lit for that though, unfortunately, but at this point I'm quite confident that I'm able to peek here without dying, because I haven't gotten shot a single time by anyone in hill except for there. And what you can do is, if you do take some damage, turn your tank towards this way. It makes it already harder for them to penetrate you, and you can always go down a bit further and you're completely safe. Now this is why I never play hill on my tanks. If you go into hill, you're stuck, and people can still sit here and shoot at you, and I pretty much spend all game shooting at people on hill. And as you can see in the bottom left hand corner, I'm on 7,000 damage, and I've taken 1 shot of damage. I mean, why would you go hill when you can just sit here, am I right? And yeah, if you do end up taking the 1-2 line, you can kind of use this position to control the map, especially if hill isn't usually a threat. Obviously there was an IS-7 over here, so I wasn't really sure what to do at this point, but we do have the 1-2 line. I'm thinking of going over the ridge and dealing with this IS-7, but at a certain point I kind of just decide, you know, why not? I'm just gonna go right over the ridge, and this is not something you would see very often, but this is a way I usually like to play my chieftain. Is at the end of the game I have enough HP to kind of just do what I want and just get as much damage as possible by just W keying. And then I eventually go on down the line, end up shooting the grill a bunch. Now I'm at 8,000 damage. I'm actually running out of shells, unfortunately. If you actually see on the mini-map, it might be a bit hard to see, so I'll probably show a clip here any moment of what my teammates are up to. My friendly mana core teammate gets destroyed, and I'm just going to run that clip right now for you, and you can see what happened there. It was quite funny.
I'm just jumping, I don't give a fuck.
Alright, I'm going.
definitely was a laugh. That was one of the funniest moments of our night when we were playing this game. And yeah, so basically, definitely a good idea to play this kind of position on both sides of the map. You can do the same thing on the other side. There's a bit of buildings right here that you can destroy at the beginning of the game when you're driving to the middle. And you should be able to shoot onto the hill once those buildings are destroyed. And it's kind of a photocopy of how you play this side. And yeah, I think I ended up with about 9.2k damage this game, with about 777 assistance. Didn't get the last kill here. That was totally fine. And yeah, if you have any questions or if you want to comment on anything in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below. And also leave a like and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.